How is the audio, guys? The Spyro song slapped. That did not. Well, the Spyro song is on the list of most popular Tiny Waves songs on Spotify. So if you really liked the Spyro songs today that played during pre-show, type in Tiny Waves in Spotify. Look, I'm in the VeggieTales section now, so it's a wash. But if you type in Tiny Waves and look at their most popular songs, it's on the list. It's quiet. Even with the clickies are also quiet. Actually, full screen. Uh-oh, VSync. We'll see. We'll see. Audio. Okay. Okay. Decent number of people are saying a little bit quiet, so I'm going to turn it up a bit. Just a smidge. Oh. Choose the investigation. Oh. Victims have all something in common. The motives seem clear. Which suspect could have done it? Perfect for a first run. Okay. Choose difficulty. Money will be easy to get. Investigation is easier. Every action takes less time. The way Netcall was designed. However you intended the game to be played. Give me that. You have to make your face cam black and white. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Wait a minute. Actually, hold on. How do I do that? I'm trying to remember. I should probably be paying attention. It's definitely a thing I can do, yeah. When we come to a pause. Oh, no! Oh, okay, perfect. How did I do this before? It wasn't that. I don't remember how I did this. I like accidentally did it before. You guys remember that? I don't remember how to do this. How weird. Maybe because I'm on a different, like the system that I had to change it to in order to get it to look nice. Maybe it doesn't make it as easy. It's so weird though. Just took a picture just then, so there's that. Okay, okay. Wait. Oh, no, none of those. Shit! I don't know, guys. Change your saturation to 0. I don't know how to do that. Color depth? No, that's not it, really. I don't know. It's fine. Unless, yeah, can I do it? In here somehow, I wonder. Oh, there we go. I was able to do it in OBS. Okay, we're good. Phew. Now we're truly immersed. Worth it. Here? Sir, can you hear me? Do I need to speak up? You're fine. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma. The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. In Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawl up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver. In most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced... Her voice becomes distant and fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth. Your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your fingers move to your wound. Underneath the bandages, you can feel hard skin, incredibly painful. I'm sorry? Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? What about the cops? The doctor is silent for a second, a very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head, to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care he's the only witness. Another female voice joins in, a strong, authoritarian voice. You can't clearly make out what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain, not fatigue, just an odd combination of the two. Before being in the hospital room, you'd never have realized that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger, a feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later... Night 1! Hold on. I just realized I forgot to do something. Before we continue... Let's add to the warning list. Moiders. Okay. Potential game warnings. Murder. I don't know what else to put on there. Adult themes, probably. Save. Oh, okay, thank God. Okay. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eye in the rearview mirror. I just want things to get back to normal, to clear my head, to stop thinking about it all. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know? I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to my old country. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me to hire the guys from the neighborhood. That's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me. His hands flutter in the air. Though none of them are any match for you, he smiles. His voice takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Good idea. Right then. First is the map. You spot potential customers, you try to guess where they're going, and then you decide. When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you gotta go pick them up. He shrugs. It's just the way it goes. It's business. The other fares, you look at the map, decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. He flashes a quick, mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work, and that's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers, and... His voice trails off as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Oh, right. No overtime. This is France, and there are rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who can't sleep for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're gonna do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while, as if he's hesitant to speak, and then... I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer's still out there. We think he's gonna come back. For you. We? Your colleagues, and I do too. Anyway, look, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. You can count on me. He scratches at an invisible stain on the armrest. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. He smiles. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about, taxis coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You're branded. You sit there a moment, turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you missed that feeling. It's back to the night shift, back to life, despite the attack, despite it all. Okay, so I can choose to just grab whoever, yeah? I missed the last train. I'm going to San Uen. Oh, it's like pretty far away. Sure. You pull up to the sidewalk and pick up the passenger who's ordered a cab. You can just make him out, surrounded by 5 or 6 cops, an all too familiar scene. Every so often, the low, ominous tones of an officer's voice make it to your ear. The circle of cops break up. You see your passenger, and he heads over to the cab and gets in. He slams the door and lets rip. Motherfucking cops! He gives you his address when you start the car. The passenger stares out the window at the passing road, as if to calm himself. You take a quick look in the rearview mirror. I know. I also thought that he got in our car and farted. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. What was that about? Nothing. Usual bullshit. He has a youthful sounding voice, a little immature. He's barely 20, maybe younger. Got it, game. I know exactly what voice you want.
I mean, like, what a fucking pain in the ass. You, like, can't go without getting screwed by each and every one of these son of a bitches. And if you're not wearing a goddamn beret, like, if you happen to wear, you know, like, sweatpants, then yeah, right, you're, like, you're fucking hood, you know?
He smirks wryly and then raises his voice an octave.
Your papers, please?
He sighs, his voice back to normal.
Yeah, sure, just shove your aunt's cock up your butthole, buddy.
Always the same old thing, huh? Yeah, we gotta connect with this kid. We gotta connect with this kid. We gotta see what's going on here. The passenger looks at you and lets out a bitter laugh.
Well, you could say that again, bud. Even the Arabs treat us like shit when they're wearing a uniform.
A slow smile spreads over his face.
And you know what's worse?
He pulls a paperback out of his jacket pocket. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas.
Well, I would believe that this was my book.
He returns it to his pocket. For a second, you wonder if you imagined it.
First thing they asked me was where I stole it from. You know, like, there's no way I could own a book. And then the bastards took the book and flipped through it, every single page, make sure I wasn't hiding stuff like hash or something.
He flinches. Something in his features breaks. A crack has appeared, and he's trying not to show it. But you see what's going on. You can't help it. The inner struggle. The humiliation. The sense of shame.
It's just a book.
Do you like it? He looks up.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a revenge story. It's like all the Hollywood movies we download so we don't have to pay for a ticket, except it takes place like 200 years ago. And yeah, it's good. It sucks what happens to the hero guy. He spends the whole book planning his revenge, like big time. And the guy's like so messed up, you know?
He catches your eye in the rearview mirror. He realizes he's not all worked up anymore.
It's my girlfriend gave it to me.
What else did she recommend?
Well, believe me, man, it was pretty rough at first. Like, she got me to read this book, Pride and something. I don't know, some English book.
Pride and Prejudice?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Did you read it?
I saw the movie a long time ago. A pause.
They made a movie? Oh, shit, I should have just watched that. I didn't get through the whole thing. Oh, she didn't mind. And then after she got me to read something by Balzac, after Count of Monte Cristo, she really wants me to read this book,
he rolls his eyes.
For some Belgian woman, I think.
You shrug.
Who my girlfriend says wrote a book about a Roman emperor and his boyfriend, and then it's like so amazing.
He laughs to himself.
Better not get caught by the cops with that one in my pocket. Or by my friends, for that matter.
Say nothing. He looks up.
She forced me a little. But then I realized that Monte Cristo, like, he's one of us, you know? His story, it's a lot like what's going on today. I introduced her to some stuff too, you know? Like texts, like rap lyrics that she really likes. You should see her putting on a show and all, but the truth is she actually likes it. It's the same thing with reading, right? I mean, it had to be explained to me. I had to want to try it. And that was it, man. I was on my way.
He looks down.
It's pretty crazy, though. I'm actually reading a book. I still can't believe it. The book and my girlfriend.
His eyes sparkle.
Some chicks really change your life, don't they?
You nod your head slowly. You pull up at the address given by your fare, and he lets out a sigh.
You know, man, I don't know why I just told you all that.
Oh, no worries.
Must be a real bummer, all these guys telling you their life stories.
The passenger passes you money for the ride.
I gotta go. I punch it early tomorrow.
He pauses, eyeing the time on the radio's LCD display.
Or later on, I should say.
A moment later, he vanishes into the night. Oh, I want him to be happy. I swear to God, if he dies. Excuse me? few cars are headed toward Paris, probably commuters. We're not going to get paid for this. I just want everybody to know. I want all of us to manage our expectations. Also, I feel like maybe I should put... I feel like this is going to go... I'm adding politics and racism to the game warnings. So I feel like just from that interaction, as wholesome as it was, I feel like we might stumble into that. I accept. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. It's a no-show. You get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. You jump, startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you're about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions and a slip of paper falls from its collar. Pick up the paper. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. A fragment of a map of Paris. The Saint-Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. You going somewhere? Cat tilts his head to the side as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint-Lazare? Cat tilts its head again. Are you a dog? The cat nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Okay, fine, I'll take you. You let out a sigh. You start talking to yourself in low tones as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by. You try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Neither a yes or a no. A plaintive meow. Are you meeting someone? No, that's not it. Cat is staring at you. The conversation is boring. You seem to be well fed. It's pretty strange, I gotta say. Did someone hurt you? A plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner? Another meow, but longer and deeper, more heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? A man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She was not around for you? She had other cats. The cat doesn't seem to understand. For instance, your owner's never home, you're bored, you want to spend time playing. If cats could roll their eyes, he would have. She have other cats? The cat gives you a look full of disbelief. That's not it, huh? You're independent. You like to be alone. Cat doesn't seem to feel like talking anymore. He turns his head away and looks at the street out the window. You're not far now. After the next light, you point to a light in the distance. That's Saint-Lazare. We'll be there soon. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. First train doesn't leave for an hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint-Lazare. If you were going to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know. Your passenger glares at you. Not Brittany. Cat lets out a choppy meow. He wants to get out. Somewhere by the sea, huh? The cat is looking at you and meows. A sharp sound. Probably a yes, a very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. Time to go and get a real customer. You try not to think too much about the situation you're in. You hope no one sees you talking to a cat. I'll just start saying the names of cities. You meow when I hit the right one. You start to list cities in Normandy. Cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg? Cat looks up. So it's Cherbourg. Getting close. Saint-Malo? Still nothing. Deauville? A meow of delight. You're smiling too, and all of a sudden you're exhausted. Alright, come on. It's time to say goodbye. You get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. It's enough for the fare and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I want to ask you where you came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You can just make out its shape, dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of the gate. You get back in the car. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you're allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. I got a little tip, guys. I got a little tip. I thought I was really gonna bone that, so... Sorry, one more that was suggested. Okay. Take. I got a bunch of Achievos for doing that, by the way. The door suddenly opens and a woman gets into the back seat. Having a good night? For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks I've been saying to myself, there's something off about you, something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it. I was sure you lied to us. Go for it. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over. I don't think you're the judge. No, I just can't picture it. She squints like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like, you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he has a crush on you. She smirks. No. I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17. An icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. And it's normal, you'd say. If they get word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car, meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining, cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name, with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence, so I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. It has to be kept between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. I'm not a cop. She shrugs. Don't worry, you're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer all wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're not Batman. You're just here to get me information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days, just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. So you can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. But if I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me, does she know you've done time? You shake your head, and she snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. Say nothing. She acknowledges your silence with a nod. Okay. Well, I think you've got a handle on our little deal, so any problems, I turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media, every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it. Your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest. They'll spend nights in jail. Do you have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trial underway? You sigh. You know just what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. Say nothing. She takes on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer, personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. I cannot botch this case. You got me, and neither can you. Right? Nope. Great, then we see eye to eye. So, you can just say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your gut, you saw your intestines, you were in a coma, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. And I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, you ask questions, listen to all the rumors, come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh, right, don't get fired, because without this cap, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. For what it's worth, it was a pleasure not to be interrupted every other minute. You can't imagine how much I miss that at work. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. In the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running, radio on, crackles, you turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. Okay. Interesting. Didn't even pay for her cab. I didn't drive her anywhere, guys. She got in the car and was like, hey, you work for me now. Bye. Are these... You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bussett gave you on the table. On the wall, you hang up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of... Well, your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into this situation. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipes shake. You glance at your bed and get to work. Okay, interesting. Autopsy report. Okay. Crime scene pictures. Okay. Message on crime scene 2. You deserve this. Oh, interesting. Okay. Are these the people who have died, or are these the suspects? They must be people who died. Was a promising football player. Never disclosed this information. Dad was a cop. Okay. Okay, so these are the victims. And this is the information. Message on crime scene 2. Wait, did they both die together? Briefly worked for Charles. Joined the police, divorced from a judge, born in the French Antilles. Moved to mainland France, 1976. Okay, so I can add stuff to people. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Killer left message in chalk on the first 3 crime scenes. Victims that were killed with a bullet in the neck. No sign of violence. Death was an execution. I can't, like... If these are the victims, it's weird that I can't see their info. Message on crime scene 1. Message on crime scene 2. Okay, so that doesn't do anything. How weird. Okay, so middle mouse click, like, makes it so things disappear. Not disappear, but are, like, in the background. But I don't understand... Like, are these things that are for sure? And so... If they're things that are for sure, is that why I can't move them? I don't know. But then why would they be out of order? Why would it be like, this is crime scene 1, these were crime scene 2, this is crime scene 3? Like, wouldn't it go 1, 2, 3 instead? Okay, dragging it onto something doesn't do anything. Maybe they're just info. I don't understand. Did Jesse have this much trouble? Am I alone? Yes? Okay, thank God. Okay, well, I've tried right-clicking. Okay. I guess here's what I'll ask. You can answer this. Is there anything that I'm supposed to do with this? Because I feel like I've exhausted all of what I can think to do. Because it gives me the option to just say, okay, the evening's over. I'll like start keeping my ear out for murder shit tomorrow. Not yet. Okay. That's what I was wondering. If maybe it was just like, here's what it looks like. Now go to bed. Okay. I'll just end the night, and hopefully next time that we see that, I'll be able to do more. I don't know. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches, and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty. Tomorrow, you'll have a chance to fill it up more. You shake your head, and your mind wanders for a second. And suddenly, you're asleep. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside, time for work. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Do I? Oh, I don't need gas yet. No, I'm okay. Sure, let's pick up this guy. Philip Bourgeois. Oh. And make it snappy. Goodness. Passenger who settles into the back seat could be a male model. He asks you to take him to Charles de Gaulle Airport. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He's looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part. He runs his tongue over his teeth. There's nothing stuck in my teeth, right? You shake your head no. You wonder why he's going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you? Yes. I could tell you were curious. I'll tell you, but it's a secret. His voice has changed as if he's about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us men. Too smart, they're on to us the minute we try to hit on them. He crinkles his nose as if there's a bad smell in the cab. Dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, and they all make the same mistake. You know what mistake is that I'm talking about? They're written by men, they're stupid. Sometimes they're gonna give me options that are like, this person's gonna hate this. This seems like the sort of guy who wants to hear himself talk. So, I might say nothing. You don't know, do you? There's nothing wrong with that. The fact of the matter is, all those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. A theatrical pause. Airports. Another theatrical pause. Brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. On the street, they're in a hurry. They don't have time. At the movies or in museums, they don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport... He's clearly very proud of himself. He remains silent and he crinkles his nose and sniffs. Is it me? Or is there a funny smell in your cab? You sniff too. Sorry, I don't smell anything. He shrugs and then goes back to his monologue. Personally, I prefer older women. Let him talk. Single moms at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. Waiting at the unaccompanied minors counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. I walk over to the counter. I look at the flight information, pretending to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm going to take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion. She's already very talented. Oh, I hope everything is okay, that she had a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. A smile. He takes another sniff and glances around the cab, then picks up where he left off. The half-sister line, it works every time. Divorced parents, remarried, every time. He bursts out laughing. A word of advice, though, you have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, huh? Another thing, I wouldn't recommend Orly. The counters are a disaster. You have to go back and forth between the different levels. It's exhausting. And the neon lights, they ruin your eyes. No. Royce is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights terminal. He rubs his hands. I can feel it. Today is my lucky day. It's going to be amazing. They're going to fall for me big time. You can't resist. You give a slight cough and say, do you mind if I ask you a personal question? No, of course not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan. Do you realize you're a total asshole? Oh my god. But we were, the second he got in, we were like, he knows something about the murder. So I don't want to say, hey, do you realize you're a dick? If that means we're not going to get information out of him. Do you really need to go through all that? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at. I mean, you're rather attractive, physically. A slight pause. And? Is it really necessary to go to all that trouble to pick up women? Don't women like you? That's beside the point. It's more efficient, more productive. I go on the make twice a week. I end up with dates for several weeks, and it's also a lot easier. It's less, how should I put it, personal. I know it won't ever get serious, and that is what I'm looking for. Do you see what I mean? You're afraid of women. Huh. Sure. The cab pulls to the drop-off. Your passenger pays the fare and exits. Fuck! I'm telling you, take my advice. It's a piece of cake. You just need to come up with a good line or two. They all fall for. I should have called you an asshole. Fuck, I thought we were gonna get deets out of you. God damn it. It's really bizarre, that smell of shit. It seems to follow me wherever I go. He walks away. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch sight of a dark brown spot. The passenger disappears into the airport. You roll down the backseat window and start up the cab. Damn it. Well, we got a tip, I guess. Son of bitch. Wasn't that one of the guys? No newspaper available. Wasn't this one of the guys that was on our board? Am I crazy? Wait. A jogger runs by your taxi. You're blinded by his reflected clothing. The door opens. It's Hervé, a homeless man like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years. Every now and then he asks a favor to drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy. What's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tick you've never really understood. You start the cab. The passenger in the backseat is whistling a funny tune. He's in a pretty good mood. You look good. Yeah, thanks. Some days are like that. Everything goes your way, huh? Belly's full, your buddy's around to help you, you're not cold. He gives you a smile. And
And then, you get good news.
Oh, really?
Really, something you're really glad to hear.
Well, out with it then.
Well, it's my ex-wife. She just got married again, and a real love story and all that, just the way we like them.
That's nice for her. He clicks his tongue and rolls his eyes.
Yeah, it's nice. She deserves to be happy.
In the rearview mirror, your passenger's face clouds over, as if what he's saying has just sunk in. Suddenly, between clenched teeth, he hisses,
"Whore."
You look up. Really?
Huh?
I thought you said something.
No,
He gives you a toothy grin. Suddenly, Hervé opens the cab door.
You can pull up over here. I don't want you to get in any trouble. Guys in the squad are a little on edge.
You park the car and Hervé opens the door.
Good night. Thanks, Ken.
He gives you a smile. A moment later, Hervé vanishes inside of a graffiti-covered building. Its imposing Art Deco facade mesmerizes you for a moment, and then you start your cab. Surely there was something there in that conversation that could have gone into my evidence. Why didn't it? That's very odd to me. If he is the dude that's on our board, and we just found out that, like, he has an ex-wife that he's pissed about, like, isn't that... Santa! I want the Achievo. I'm sure there's an Achievo for picking up Santa. Well, like when we picked up Scumbag McScummerton, we had a thing that popped up that was like, evidence available at your studio. But that didn't happen with this guy. Your next passenger smells like beer. It's even worse. It's like every single fiber of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on! Go away! His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I'm parked somewhere near a Champ's LEZ's. Shit. The name of, His head's spinning. He does his best to hang onto the door. Impasse! It'll come back to me. Just drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover the fare. You glance back. He's mumbling to himself. You can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he dressed up? What's the suit for? He turns to look at you, wide-eyed. Suit? Well, yeah, the Santa suit. Silence. More silence. Is he so drunk that he doesn't realize he's wearing a costume? This ain't no costume, kid. This is what I wear to work, just like you. He points at his clothes. Hey, you don't dress like that in real life, do you? He stares at you and bursts out laughing. I'm just messing with you, kid. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I like to hit my favorite pubs, and I get monumentally wasted. He guffaws. And here in Paris, there's a bunch of bistros that are perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they got the white wines. It's so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandies, pear brandies and cognacs. He closes his eyes. And sometimes I order just one weensy beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering, okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbreweries. He jumps. Oops, but don't tell nobody. Just imagine if people found out about Santa Claus, thought the beer here tasted like peepees. He laughs a sparkling laugh, and when he stops, it's just to throw out non-committally, "Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, with all the trouble I go to, people should leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, they want their little snot-nosed miracles." Oh, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is with this manure pile of a generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about it his whole life. But today, then those whiners, why, what the eyesores? Fucking hell. And they want to have it all, but they don't like nothing. They got them GSMs when they're 8. And those things, they cost like a whole month's wages. Like, how can you make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. No idea. He raises his hand. At least you're honest enough to say that you don't know, and I appreciate your honesty. He closes his eyes like he's taking a moment's rest. A moment's rest. You want me to tell you what they really want? What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can fix. He seemed to have calmed down, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like the dolls whose hairs you can fix. He twitches his mustache in silence. Back when I made toys for kids, I could tell you they couldn't care less. Couldn't give a damn. They wanted to have fun and play and laugh and forget their parents are losers. He leans over to you, rife with anger. That's the problem. Parents are losers. Putting kids in the world, guys don't got a clue. Am I right? I mean, have you seen the state of the ice caps these days? Because there's not much left. He pauses. And I can't say it's all bad. I don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. Nasty beasts, vicious, mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. But before, things were different. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. And there is no need to stare. You don't even have time to react, and he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell the truth, I remember everyone, every single person. You were angry. So angry. And your letters, your handwriting, oh, they were hell to decipher. But don't worry, I mean, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to do nothing. You were just furious. It's like someone punched you in the stomach. Brother giving you hell. Someone wrenching your gut. Man, what a... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Anyway, let's talk about something else. How do you know all that? You don't get it? Do you not get it? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look, kid, I'm not going to spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid it. A little something called jail. Another punch to the stomach. So there's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles and opens his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... He glues his face to the window. Shouldn't be hard to spot. A sleigh, a couple half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. It's like in an alley somewhere. Right, oh, there, you gotta turn right. You obey and go up a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh, shit, it was right here. Drive around the block. You turn again, and back your passenger's mumbling. I'm gonna have to get me one of them GPS's and help me find that sleigh. so much easier. You eventually pull over in an alley. No light, a few empty office buildings, some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Look, kid, I'm sorry about before. I didn't mean, to bring up sore points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kid. He gets out and slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp. With a heavy, awkward step, he clumps along the alley. You sit for a moment, watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. A few minutes go by, and nothing. You turn the key and start driving. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while. Man, I just wanted to see Santa. Unbelievable. What is this? I'm really curious about this. I don't know what this is. I just realized the webcam is also black and white. Yeah, chat demanded it. You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. It seems so odd to have a contact. It's so excessive. The guy is one of your regulars' poker buddies, a night watchman at the embassy. You get out of your taxi, walk toward the big metal gate. Clean lines, early 20th century maybe. Lots of wrought iron. The gate opens and someone moves toward you. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts beating faster. What if it was... You walk into a narrow, covered passageway, probably the entrance to the parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face, a young man with curly hair, pale skin. He looks young, very young. That'll be 250 euros. What is this intel for? This isn't what the woman was gonna give me, is it? This is a different thing. Is it worth it? I got as much as I could, so yeah. You want information on Gorodisher? I got info on Gorodisher, and it'll cost you 250 euros, so what'll it be? Let's see if I can bargain. He raises his hand in front of his chest. His accent becomes stronger. No. It is 25 euros or nothing. And if someone learns I fished around, they'll fire me on the spot. Alright. For that price, you hope the intel is good. You pay. Listen, I'm not going to say it twice. Gorodisher is definitely a colonel from the junta, one of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. He's responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. We don't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Respected him. The difference doesn't seem important. If it makes you happy, he looks back at you. There's one last thing. I read in the newspaper the killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. It was a slogan at the end of the junta. A sort of watchword from the opponents. It was time for them to go. Do you get it? You nod. A second later, you're back in your taxi with a hole in your wallet, but with new information on one of the victims. You follow the lead. If you follow the lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Man, I paid a lot of money for that. Okay. Who are you? You look distressy. A night bus waves at you in the rearview mirror. It's going way too fast. You pull up to a local police station to pick up your next passenger. She comes out from under an archway, visibly frightened. She slips into the back seat of the cab and gives you her address, near Montparnasse. You glance at her in the rearview mirror and notice how she's dressed. Everything all right? You start the cab. Your passenger eyes you intently, reluctant to speak. Yes. You can barely hear her. She points to the car radio. Can I listen to the radio? You nod, yes. Which station? My wallet was stolen. She pauses, then fixes her eyes on you. You freeze. I don't have any money for the fare. Okay. The passenger senses your surprise. I just wanted to tell you I could pay. She looks down. What kind of music? Excuse me? The radio. What kind of music should I put on? News? The woman shakes her head. No. Could you turn it to 89.4? Hold down the button until you get to the station. There's nothing but static. Are you sure? A hint of a smile plays across her mouth, faint, but a smile even so. She waits a second or two before answering. Can you hear it? You lean forward slightly, closer to the radio. Behind the sounds of electric sputtering, there's something else, a shifting sound. It sounds like... waves? Maybe? The passenger looks up. Yes, that's right, there are waves in the background. Her voice is almost inaudible. It's perfectly natural. Her sir gives you quite a start. It's the frequency that causes it. It vibrates. It's constantly dancing around, pulled by all the incredible forces surrounding us. Most people listen to music, to the news, but for me, when I work, I like to listen to isolated frequencies like these. They're broadcast, but no one hears them. It's proof that we exist. She smiles at you. You're getting close to the passenger's address. What do you do for a living? Math. She seems mesmerized by the sound of the wavelengths. What kind of math? Algebra, first. Linear algebra. And now, harmonic analysis. Spectral theory. A funny smile plays across her face. But you know how it is, changing all the time. You nod very slowly. The client suddenly straightens up and points to the radio. It's beautiful, just so incredibly beautiful. Listen. You listen. You only hear static at first, and then, little by little, like a distant figure, the music takes shape and slips softly into your ears. It's beautiful, isn't it? To me, they were ghosts, and that's why I studied science and then math. I wanted to know why. You pull over. She gets the fare ready while you slowly turn up the radio. Beneath the layer of interface, someone is speaking, like the voice of a child. Thank you. You emerge from your trance and take the fare. Your passenger exits the cab and walks away without another word. You sit there, immersed in the sound of the radio a while longer. It has a soothing effect on you. You start the engine and drive away. Wait, I'm confused. I thought that she couldn't pay, but she could pay? She was like, my wallet was stolen? But then she was like, I just wanted you to know that I can pay. And I thought that she was implying, like, I can pay another way. And I was like, okay. But then she paid me? Interesting. She had money, but her wallet was stolen. Oh, okay. Why did we need to know that her wallet was stolen? She felt it was important, I guess. You pull over and stop at a gas station. Not a soul in sight. The fluorescent light irritates your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting from the space in between the pumps. It's self-service here. You pay directly at the pump. The mini-mart over there, it must sell newspapers. The person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple questions. Oh, you don't quite know why, but Parisian gas stations are always frightening. You check out your surroundings before getting out of the taxi. Fill the tank. You walk into the mini mart. The clerk behind the counter is undoubtedly the most ordinary person you've ever seen. Yeah? Buy a newspaper. I'll buy a newspaper and then I'll talk with the clerk. Read the papers? He's all they're talking about. An offhand comment casually brought up about the serial killer. The guy behind the counter seems like he's interested in the case. Oh, okay. And that's it? Please come back soon. The clerk is still in the middle of his sentence. When you leave the shop? Okay. Get in your taxi and drive away. Okay. Maybe it was so that you wouldn't think that she was a criminal. I guess that would make sense if she was like, I wasn't at the police station because, oh right, because when we picked her up, one of the options of things to say was like, did they treat you well? So yeah, maybe she was like, I wasn't there because I was arrested. I lost my wallet. I was reporting my wallet, but I have money, I swear. Maybe that's what it was. The people available change so rapidly. You double park and wait for your next passenger to slide into the back seat. He looks at you like he appreciates you and your taxi. He gives you his address. You start driving. A few words are exchanged, weather, taxes, traffic. You can tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Bits of information, rumors, things overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows? Might come in handy. Your passenger doesn't make a sound for the next few minutes of the trip. It doesn't bother you. Your investigation, the judge, bus it. You're overcome with a craving to smoke. You nod slowly and glance at your passenger. Calm and still. He seems far away. I'm gonna say, he's probably the sort of person that will give us a bigger tip if we don't keep trying to push convo. That's what I think. The silence becomes heavy. All of a sudden you feel a strange sense of camaraderie with your passenger. You look at him quickly in the rearview mirror. He doesn't look familiar at all yet, but it's like you know him. A second later, an outside light shines on his face at a weird angle. It looks like he's smiling. A few seconds later, you drive down his street. He straightens up. You park in front of the number he gave you, and he pays his fare without a word. The door opens slowly, and he smiles at you. You can tell it comes from the bottom of his heart, despite how uptight he is. You're a real swell guy. You weren't expecting that. By the time you collect your thoughts, your passenger is already far away. He disappears into a building. A moment goes by before you turn the key. Yo! Definitely the killer. Oh, shit. Okay. Annabelle! I accept. Your passenger slips into the back seat, dragging a backpack that apparently weighs a ton. You, want to put that in the trunk? She refuses politely with a shake of the head. Oh, thanks, but I'm going to have to get used to keeping it with me. It's going to be on my back for an entire month. You smile and start the cab. A glance in the rearview mirror. Your passenger is young. The camera around her neck looks very expensive. Her backpack, scarf, and clothes are fairly worn. Where are you heading? She doesn't answer right away. She lowers her eyes. Oh, I'm on my way to Greece to join an NGO rescue vessel. NGO? An association. It helps migrants trying to make the crossing. I'm going to do a story on them. Oh, are you a journalist? She smiles, the first since you set off. Yes, a photojournalist. I imagine it's going to be tough. Tough? Yes, it's going to be hard. But I want to do it. I volunteered. I even made a fuss to get the assignment. Her tone of voice is increasingly shrill. I read first-hand accounts. I talked to journalists who have worked on it. I can't just ignore it. She gives a short laugh. I even played a video game about refugees. It's beautifully done, really powerful. I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch. It was my chance to show the world what's going on out there. Your passenger's phone starts to ring. Oh, sorry, She glances at the caller's name and her face freezes. She sighs, a troubled smile flickering across her face, and takes the call. Hi, Dad. I'm in the cab. Yeah, I told you I tried, but he wouldn't change his mind. Come on, Dad. I told you it'll be fine. They wouldn't be sending me there if it were... She moves the phone a bit further from her ear. Dad, stop. Dad. Listen, everything's gonna be fine. I'll be there for 20 days with a group of pros. They've been doing it for years. That's right, a group of professionals. Would you just stop? She sighs heavily. It's no use. She's been down this road 1,000 times. Dad, everything will be fine. No, I don't want to talk to Mom. Because I know what she's going to say. Look, I'll be safe. The only people in danger out there are the people they're trying to help. I'm just taking pictures. She rolls her eyes. Don't put her on. Mom. Uh-huh. She breaks off. You hear a distant voice on the other end of the line. No. I can't call it off. My plane leaves in 2 hours. I'll get fired if I don't go. That's the way it is. Look, you can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to... No, it's not your fault. You didn't introduce me to photography. Look, it's no big deal if I did start there, but... A sigh of exasperation. I wonder what happens if I help her out. Am I just like... I don't know. We're about to get to a tunnel, mademoiselle. You're going to cut out. The young woman looks up at you in surprise, and then her face lights up. Oh, did you hear that? I have to go. I'll call you back as soon as I'm... She's interrupted again. That's right. I'll call back. She hangs up, wide-eyed, and breathes a long sigh. My parents, they can be a little much at times. She smiles. Anyhow, thanks for, jumping in there. You can sense the tension, the wave of frustration, the anxiety welling up in her. Her unhappiness and anxiety are palpable. She closes her eyes, collecting her thoughts, trying to dispel her negative emotions. If I only had a little time... Time for what? Time to do yoga? It helps me relax. It's an amazing way to unwind and, just calm down and release tension. And there's got to be a yoga room somewhere in the airport. I can pull over if you want. She looks at you closely, not sure what to think. What do you mean? There's a gas station up ahead. A rest area for truck drivers. Won't be anyone there. All right, sure. Why not? There's no more talk for a few minutes. Your passenger glances out the window every now and then. You drive past the gas station, the main building, the trucks. You get to a small, quiet rest area. A clearing lit up by your headlights, and the moon suddenly appears. No one around. The air is cool. The young woman leans in toward you. Is this the place? You nod. It's incredibly calm, like we're in the middle of the woods. Her eyes take in every detail, every tree, every bush. Do you come here a lot? I'd be scared if I was her. I know, right? I would be like, no, I'm good. Whenever I can. She nods. She understands. It's so quiet. Even in the middle of winter, it looks so peaceful. She reaches for the door handle. You won't leave without me, will you? Of course not. She gets out of the cab, puts her things on a picnic table. Isn't it raining? The wind is chilly. She shivers. She gives you one last look, then closes her eyes. And for a minute or two, you watch her doing some yoga. Her eyes remain closed, her face gradually relaxing. A truck pulls behind you out of the rest area. This place has a calming effect on you, too. Some summer nights, you come here to take a nap. The young woman is stretching now. Headlights cast soft shadows among the dark foliage. And in the winter, you smoke a cigarette or two, waiting for potential clients to land. The young woman gets back in the cab. She says nothing. There's no need. You sense she's recovered her calm. She's ready to face the rest of her journey. You drive away, leaving behind the clearing, the rest area, the gas station. The young woman is sleeping. The road keeps passing by, and before long, you're approaching the airport. A moment later, you turn down the radio. The song fades. I'll just pull up over here. It'll be easier for you to get out of the cab. You get to the airport drop-off zone. A couple of colleagues greet you with a wave. A few bleak-looking passengers are struggling with huge suitcases and car trunks. A security guard sitting on a luggage cart smokes a cigarette, clearly exhausted. Your passenger pays the fare, collects her things, but doesn't leave the cab. Thank you for getting me out of that horrible phone call. I love my parents, but they're suffocating. And my mother's convinced that she's responsible for having cursed me with photojournalism. So, thank you. I have to go. I have the feeling my parents are going to call again, so I might as well go in where it's warm and I'm not a disturbance. Good luck with everything. Thanks. She gets out of the cab with all her gear. Your eye follows her as she heads to the terminal. The airport doors close behind her. You sit there a minute or two all by yourself. There's no one around. May as well head out. Yo, a $12 tip, bitch! Yo. Sick. Oh, end of the night? You know more about your clients. You have met Phil. You ignored Phil. You met Hervé. Oh my god, was Phil on this list? No, he's not up here. At the foot of your front door, just behind a drain pipe, you notice an envelope. It's thick and heavy. You can just make out your name written in thick black marker. Your real name. You take a deep breath and go inside. In the envelope, you find more information, just as Bussett promised. You lay them on the table. Take a few minutes to update your board with your new clues. Step in the hallway. They stop in front of your door and then move away. It's time to get moving on your investigation. Okay. A police report. Not enough time? What does that mean? Picture of the crime scene. Not enough time. What does that mean? Oh, I only have so much time in the day to, like, look at documents? How weird. Spent bullet case. Killer fought with victim 1. Killer's height is shorter, but apparently everybody is this high, is this tall. Known to have tortured prisoners. I guess escaped from Argentina, lost your parents to the Argentinian junta process. Medical examiner. So why is she linked to message on crime scene 3 linked to the process? Oh, okay. Time is up. Colonel of the process. Victim 2 was a politician. Okay. Killer left message in chalk. First 3 crime scenes. No sign of violence. Death with an execution. Killed with 1 bullet in the neck. I don't know how I'm supposed to organize this, really. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Okay, message on crime scene 2. You deserved this. Are we saying that these are things that, from what we know about them... Time is up. Killed an Algerian man. Okay. So that's all like information that's already attached to people, where it's like, this is evidence for this person. And then this is like extra stuff, I guess. Like just stuff that's true of every death, I'm assuming. How weird, like, how it's set up, if that's true. So all of the victims were killed with one bullet in the neck. Heard at a gas station that the killer's height was taller than that. Autopsy report victim 3. No sign of violence. Okay. Killer fought with victim 1. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Victim 2 was a politician. And I don't have enough time to look at these. That's so frustrating. I'm wondering if, like, the game took the time to say, oh, you've learned something about this guy, right? Like the schmoozy, gross guy. The game was like, we know something about this dude now. But he's not somebody up on our board, which makes me wonder, like, can we add him to the board? I don't know. Interesting. There are things, I don't know. I think the interface is a little strange, but I like the idea of the game. So I'm frustrated that it isn't clearer for me. I don't know. I'm going to take a little break. But I'll see you guys in a second. BRB. Okay, hello. I'm back. I grabbed some food. Yeah? Oh, never mind. Hold on. Unbelievable. Sherlock was trying to eat my food. Unbelievable. I'm shocked. Shocked is what I am. Okay. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You pull open the sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse onto the mattress. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, passengers, their faces, their problems. You open one eye. Someone flushes the toilet, and you hear the pipes shake. One of them runs under your bed. You find the sound calming. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. For night 3, everybody! Yeah! I wonder how many nights we have to solve this. Immediately recognize the passenger who climbed into the backseat of your van. His face has been plastered all over the news the last few weeks. He's the lawyer, right? Yeah. A lawyer representing a terrorist. He gives you an address and you start driving. He holds your gaze in the rearview mirror like he's trying to read your mind. You drive across a virtually empty Paris. Behind you, the lawyer nervously consults his notes. He's not gonna want to talk. Everything okay? He answers without looking up. Yes. You get the message and leave him alone. You continue driving without saying a word. Your passenger mutters. Why did he say that to the cops? He's not taking this seriously. He doesn't get it. Idiot. There again, he says it again. Is he contradicting himself or just... You glance in your mirror. The lawyer looks like a smaller version of himself. I don't think... I don't know. Sometimes I'm really wrong about this. Your eyes meet in the rearview mirror. You see him start to break. I can't take it anymore. He takes a deep breath. He loses control of his voice. This guy is a real asshole. He's not just a monster. He's an idiot. Tears form at the corner of his eyes. I've never seen such a moronic defendant. Do you know what it's like to defend a moron? You know what it's like to get only 3 hours of sleep a night so you can defend a fucking moron? Do you have any idea? He yells so loudly that the windows shake. I don't know. Saying I'm sorry might make him revert. But pushing to find out information might also make him revert, so I'm like... What would you want in this situation? I don't think he's the sort of person... I think unless he continues to be escalated, he won't say anything. Because he's a lawyer. And he knows, like, he can get into a lot of trouble for just, like, spilling shit he's not supposed to. So I think that if I calm him down, he won't say anything. But if I egg him on, it might be more beneficial to, like, finding out information. Yes, of course I'm talking about him. Who else? Who else could I possibly be talking about? You've seen my face in all the magazines, all the papers. His voice teeters, blind with rage. That's me, the terrorist's best friend, a traitor to his country. He pauses barely, just the time to take a breath. Jesus fucking Christ already. He kicks the seat in front of him. Jesus! He calms himself down, steadies his breath. I'm the one who agreed to it. I actually fought to represent him. It's my own damn fault I'm being dragged into the mud. He raises his hand and snickers. Yeah, I admit it. At first I thought it was pretty great being on TV, the interviews, journalists asking my opinions about everything. I shook so many hands. I said so many words, sentences, but I actually said nothing. And when I worked in the hood, not a single person cared about my work. And now, 5 hours, I have to be on the radio and 7 on TV. He pauses and breathes. His voice sounds further and further away. This could actually, like, really piss him off. In a good way for us.
You just need to calm down, forehead. I don't even know what that means anymore. Actually, it's simple. I don't sleep. When I lie in bed, I stare at the ceiling and go over the evidence in my head. He sits up. It's barbaric, disgusting. It's so horrific, it's almost unreal. He lets out a sigh from somewhere deep in his body. And then I discover my client bought nails. The nails that were in the bombs at the corner market, and he kept the receipt. He kept the fucking receipt. Folded it in half, slipped it into his wallet. That's what I see when I close my eyes. Disemboweled bodies and a receipt for €2 worth of nails. Why? He raises his voice quite high. Why? For God's sake? Because he thought he could expense it when he got to heaven? He pauses. God, it's so stupid, so dangerous. He disgusts me. He revolts me. Why defend him? Because everyone has the right to an attorney. Everyone, without exception. Otherwise, justice is no longer just. His fit of rage subsides, his fingers are shaking. When I signed on, I thought I'd be representing someone crazy. And I find out he's just a moron who's played too many video games. Guy has never even read the holy book they use to justify their so-called acts of martyrdom. He read a few passages online. Passages. Online. Do you have any idea what a complete moron he is? He chuckles. God, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. He takes a deep breath. I don't have anyone else to talk with about it. All the other lawyers avoid me like the plague. My mom can't understand why I'm doing this. She's just ashamed. She went back to Algeria. He's shaking. I get it. I get the shame. What I don't get is when people just lump things together. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a murderer. He's a terrorist? Yes, and that's why we need to do more to prove to all these extremists, these terrorists, that we're better than them. That alone keeps me going, because let me be frank with you. His voice is very calm. We could hang him right here, right now, and no one would shed a tear. He stays quiet and catches your gaze. That's why I keep doing this. He slows his breathing. For equality, our country was founded on it. These rights, they've been abused far too often for me to look the other way. His anger seems to be lifting. The taxi has almost reached its destination. In the back seat, the lawyer is much calmer. His voice is soft. I needed to be reminded of this. This will serve as a lesson. He looks at you in the mirror and bores into you with his gaze. It's odd, isn't it, that I ran into you tonight? I mean, as if... No, forget it. You pull over and he pays his fare. Don't take this the wrong way, but he hands you another bill. This is for you for listening, for hearing what I had to say. Sure, I'll take it. You slide the bill into your pocket. He looks relieved. He gathers his belongings strewn across the back seat. As he's getting out of the cab, you realize he left an envelope behind. For a second, one tiny second, you hesitate. It could be something important. Oh, shit. Should I keep it? No. Forgot something. He freezes, notices the envelope, and grabs it hastily. You can tell he's uncomfortable. He doesn't say another word. He gets out of the taxi, walks a few steps away, and turns around to wave at you before entering a bistro. You drive off. Alright, well, not at the best tip I've ever gotten. And considering that some people have screamed at me, little disappointed. No names, but some people. A person has screamed at me in this situation.
Um. You're going where? What? I don't get to look? Okay. A beautiful woman climbs into your cab. There's something sensual and comforting about her. I just missed it, but don't worry, I'm taking a cab. Anyhow, I just wanted you to know. For a minute, you think she's talking to herself, but she leans over and whispers her address to you. I think you really enjoyed it today. As you start the cab, you notice a hands-free headset practically hidden by her thick head of hair. I'll massage his feet tomorrow, and I'll let you do the rest. A small laugh escapes her. Or the other way around, sure. Cruz, it's normal to feel a little awkward at first, or uncomfortable. I mean, like, not knowing what to do. But you'll see, a couple more days, you'll get the hang of it. Anyhow, you should get to bed. You need to keep up your strength. She stopped talking. Her phone call is over. She catches your eye in the rearview mirror and bursts out laughing. You look shocked. None of my business. I mean, it is a little. I was rude enough to make a call in your cab. So, just so everything's perfectly clear, it wasn't a booty call. I was talking about my son. I've been taking care of him since his accident. I'm a nurse. I'm sorry? Oh, don't be. You had nothing to do with it. She pauses dramatically. At least I don't think you did. You don't happen to drive a semi in your spare time, do you? A smile of dry amusement flickers across your passenger's face. Anyway, he's been in a coma for weeks now. Grade 2, so not a total vegetable, but not all that hardy either. So, I had them move him to his place, and Cruz and I are taking care of him now. His fiancée, a lovely girl. Your passenger puts her hand to her mouth to smother a giggle. Totally inhibited, but sweet, very religious, prays in Spanish at his bedside every night. We've been going out for 2 years now, and I still don't think they've, well, you know. A brief silence. You find yourself trying to think of something to say. How do you take care of someone in a coma? Well, for one thing, there's the day-to-day stuff. I thought for sure I would say, like, fun fact, I was in a coma. For one thing, there's the day-to-day stuff. Nails, hair, beard. It all grows like crazy. There's a lot of maintenance. You're like a gardener. Same for teeth. We have to brush them every now and then because, believe me, if Tituan wakes up looking and smelling like a werewolf, we will never hear the end of it. A smile escapes you. Your passenger sees it in the rearview mirror and is clearly pleased. But the biggest risk is not being able to move. Our bodies are meant to move. I know, it's hard to believe when our alarm clocks go off, but it's true. Our blood circulation stops working, our skin gets cold, it loses elasticity. We have to massage him as often as we can. And then there are the bed sores. Do you know what bed sores are? I think so. In the hospital, well, there are tons of patients who are still conscious and who have bed sores. Their bodies are just racked with pain. It's like being skinned alive. And the worst part is we have to change their bandages twice a day. Talk about brave. Working in the hospital is hard. The work, it's depressing, but in Tituan's case, it's different. I don't have a choice. It has to be done. And actually, I'm happy. We can't talk to each other anymore. He doesn't even react when I touch him, so taking care of him is just my way of showing him that I love him. So that's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty odd, but that's how it goes. Your passenger shudders briefly. Okay, Patricia, enough of the depressing stuff. Let me tell you something funny. Earlier tonight when Cruz and I were watching Tituan, not exactly a pleasure cruise. My son is well over 6 feet tall. Cruz is a cross between a matchstick and a Q-tip, so I was managing as best I could, rolling him onto one side and then the other, and she was trying to help, but truth is, it's pretty hard for her to take. I mean, it's all really new to her, so it can't be that much fun. She's muttering religious mumbo-jumbo to herself in Spanish, Dios mío, and whatnot. And just as I was rolling Tituan back onto his back, guess what? He got an enormous erection. Sorry? That's right, a big ol' hard-on. Oh, goodness. Oh. What did you do? She gives a shrug. Well, my first thought was, where the heck did he get that from? His father had a different build, if you know what I mean. Jesus, Patricia. Peals of warm laughter fill the air, and for a moment, you're happy, as if a weight had been lifted. You pull up to the address she gave you. You stop the cab. She hands you the fare. Thanks for the conversation. The ride went by really fast. She reaches for the door and then stops. You can sense she's really on edge. It's good to be able to talk. I mean, it's pretty unusual in Paris to meet someone so warm. I'll say goodnight. A slight nod, like a promise. You too. Good luck tonight. She shuts the door carefully and then walks away. Your eye follows her as she climbs the steps to the door of her building. And a moment later, she's gone. As you start the cab, you catch sight of something on the back seat, a Kleenex. You wriggle around to pick it up. Read it! You unfold the handkerchief and you see the word Patricia and a phone number written inside. You look up at the building and smile! You notice a newspaper on the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it behind. Or the one before. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. You turn the key in the ignition and drive away. Yo! We got a number from Cute Nurse Mom. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Well, there's that dude again. But we know that he doesn't pay. I wish I knew where they were going. Because I want to do these. But... The words, I can sense them. They're calling me. Oh, this is going to take me right where I need to go. Absolutely. Get in, you big old weirdo. Drive. I don't care where. I just need you to drive. Okay. I said drive. Start driving. You turn the key. Yes, there, good. Keep going this way. Her deep, full voice makes you slightly uncomfortable. With closed eyes, she seems like she's in a place far from the backseat of your taxi. When she starts speaking, there's an odd whistle in her voice, like she has a hole in one of her teeth. Slow down. Frail or fragile? A bit surprised, you look back at her in the mirror. Answer me, frail or fragile? I'm not sure. Don't think about it. Just say the first one that comes to mind. Frail or fragile? Fraggle? Fragile. Ah, odd. I wouldn't have thought that of you. After all, frailty applies more to humans than to objects. The whistle in her voice crackles for a second. Both words actually have the same root. A smile spreads across her face. 2 words, 2 units. And life went on, and words mixed once again. She pauses. You okay? Smiley face. She suddenly starts screaming. Go down this street and stop! You speed up in the quiet street. The cold weather has driven away all the passers-by. There, yes, good. Yes, I've got it. She cries out with joy. It resonates in the cab. I've got it. The words are right there. They're wandering past us like sheep, like... She explodes with laughter. What words? She stops laughing. She silences you with a wave of her hand. Now, I must write. She closes her eyes. Her fingers stroke imaginary upholstery. The frail are forced into battle. Together come the children, a son and daughter, standing tall to salute. They will cry. Oh, yes, they will cry. The eaglets fly behind. The frail will say... Your passenger freezes. When she opens her eyes again, she stares at you. What happens when you sleep? She's waiting for your answer. I have nightmares. She tilts her head to the side. That is a lie. And what happens when you drive? I make a living. You give your time to others. She laughs strangely, almost a snicker as her eyelids droop. And the son will say, Frail father, I want you to come back to life. And the daughter will say, Frail father, I want you to come back a winner. The whistle in her voice grates on your ears. The father responds, You must choose. As the eaglet lands upon his shoulder, together they fly off, and thus all began. Fragile, frail, two paths that can't be fooled. The son and daughter will grow, though not at the same pace. When early one morning, 20 years later, they wake up. They wake to the sound of a bugle. The sound will be beaten, churned, and clubbed until he wakes from a 1,000-year nightmare. A nightmare that kneaded together earth and life, and brought into the world a dream for the daughter and the son. May they learn to live again without their father, frail and fragile. Frail is fragile. She catches her breath. 11 years. I've been writing this poem for 11 years. Are you... Good job. You get the impression. She didn't even hear you. For 11 years, I've been trying to finish the text. It's filled with so much. It's infused with my entire life. Its lungs are swollen with my tears. Her breathing is quite irregular. It was all waiting, right here in this street, right in front of me. She giggles. Thank you. She sighs and places a few bills in front of you, far more than the fare. Stop here and keep everything. I have nothing more. She gets out of the taxi without a peep. Okay. It seems to you that it's only an impression, but it looks like she's getting smaller and smaller. With each step, darkness swallows her and you sit there a bit shaken by her poem. You pick up the money and something falls at your feet. You grab onto a shiny, white seashell with your fingers. You look at it for a second without saying a word. 11 years. The idea makes its way into your brain. You take a minute and drive off. Okay. And we're right next to the shit. God, I kind of want more potato salad. But I'm not going to get it. Out of nowhere, you hear a voice whispering in your ear.
This is where I died.
You brake hard. There's no noise in the cab and no noise outside. A silhouette appears in the... I'm sticking with the voice. The silhouette appears in the back seat of the cab. Its features appear one by one as if drawn with a paintbrush.
So much suffering.
You squint. It's a little boy.
Would you be so kind as to drive me?
Where?
Very well. Let us drive.
The boy's silhouette flutters for a moment and then disappears. You hold your breath. In the back seat behind you, the boy slowly reappears. You start driving.
Would you be so kind as to drive around this neighborhood?
Nowhere specific?
No, I am not sure where he lives.
He changes haunts frequently. Oh!
He changes haunts frequently.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was the devil.
Never stays in the same place, but it's somewhere around here.
The boy points outside.
There, the revolutionaries brought the little prince here on a cart. The crowd touched him, pushed him, made him change clothes. A woman he'd never seen before, who frightened him, gave him something to eat. He was scared, terrified. People spit insults anytime he opened his mouth. Others incited violence.
His last sentence hangs in the air. Everything okay?
Fine. I was thinking about his mother, but it's of no matter at all. She had face powder ordered from Austria. Her little one liked the smell. As do you.
At that very instant, your nose itches.
Let us not speak of it. He was important.
Your desire to sneeze disappears as quickly as it had appeared.
He lived in the street and suffered. He coughed and was yelled at any time his small, frail body was shaken with a fit. The woman taking care of him called him Little Louis. He barely spoke. He was not allowed outside.
An odd smell fills the cab.
His life was reduced to a series of apartments, bedrooms, living rooms.
More of a perfume than a smell.
His life was reduced to presentations, low bows, strict rules.
Orange blossom. Your taxi suddenly smells of orange blossom.
His life was future promises to when you grown-ups and...
You glance around needlessly, looking for the source of the smell.
At least I got to play in the dirt and the mud.
It's him, the little boy with a flickering frame, smells of orange blossoms.
I don't pity him, but no one deserves to be punished for their brother's crimes.
Oh shit, it's applicable to me! What the fuck? No, because this is like me getting aggressive.
Here.
He points to a house down the street.
It's here. This is where Louis lives.
You pull over. Louis the 17th? Right? Louis the 17th lives here? Why the fuck should I care? You turn around and the backseat is empty. You sneeze. All the anger you were just feeling has vanished. You avoid your own reflection in the rearview mirror. How weird. Okay. You park your oh. Oh, okay. You want a cigarette? Oh. Oh, I can only do one a day? Is that what it's telling me? Oh, man. Okay. Well, whoops. Okay. I'll go grab her then. Heading to the airport. Your next passenger is alone and waiting for you on the sidewalk. She gets in the cab and whispers, "Hi." She has no handbag or suitcase, a small handmade sign with an Indian name printed on it. Charles de Gaulle, please. She's young, with a soft, slight accent. A really good one. I think we can all agree. Her face shows no emotion. Her fingers play with the small gold chain around her neck. It's the only piece of jewelry she has on. You drive, glancing back at her from time to time. Her head seems to be elsewhere. Everything all right? She nods her head gently, cracking a tiny smile. Yeah, it's just really early. First planes to come in are the worst. Everyone's exhausted and half asleep. Yeah, totally. And, she sighs, I have to confess that my loneliness is killing me now. Wow, wow. Don't you know I still believe that you would be here and give me a sign? I almost got to it. Anyway, you know the rest. I don't really want to go. A tiny smile lights up her face for a split second before disappearing. Family? My future husband. Well, future. I haven't even met him. Her accent suddenly becomes much stronger. All right. You know this habit well. Just before confiding in you, passengers tend to relax into their natural accent.
Like, I'm sure he's like a great guy, as they say here.
Sadness appears in her voice.
But like, I don't know him at all. And my parents like chose him.
They said it got stronger. I don't know what else to do.
Isn't it like crazy? Like, are you shocked?
Yeah, totally shocked. A sad smile washes briefly over her face.
Yeah, it's like tradition, or at least it like used to be. And my parents are like so old school. So like, even by current standards in India, I chose to study here and not in England, like my Smithers.
She flashes a smile.
And I fell in love with Paris, and I decided to stay. And I like don't go home, you know? Actually, this is like my home now. Anyway, my parents insist that I meet him, so he made the trip. He like said he had a meeting or something.
I don't know if like I should say like, wow, that's fucked up. Or
I'm basically like French. You know?
I'm gonna try this.
I mean, you don't understand. This is just like how it is, you know? And I knew it would like happen one day. They've been like talking about it for like ages, and I try to avoid it or whatever because it's like totally understandable to like them. But I mean, it worked for them, okay? So
you sense something bubbling up, anger, before she freezes. Some people refuse to let their emotions out. She slowly regains control of her body.
What day trips would you recommend that's outside of Gay Paris?
Nearby? She nods. Versailles, of course, it's beautiful. Definitely worth it. Her face lights up.
Oh my god, perfect. He'll like totally love that.
Or there's Fontainebleau. There's a huge park. It's wild if he likes hiking.
I mean, I don't really know.
She smiles shyly. You prefer to say nothing. The airport isn't much further. Something about the young woman makes you feel uncomfortable. She looks as if she's about to scream, but is holding it in. Time passes and silence fills the cab. Which terminal? Your question startles her.
Oh, Terminal C, 2C, I think.
It's supposed to be a nice day out today, I say, with rain toppling all over my car. I'm not used to being caught doing my stupid stuff. That's my dad. Okay, well, is it an Indian airline?
Yeah.
Definitely 2C. The flights come in early.
Yeah, soup's early.
You park the car in front of Terminal 2C. Your passenger grabs her sign and exits the cab. She pauses for a second, as if she's about to say something, and then she disappears. Okay, I'll take it. Is that it? Can I do anything else? I guess I can, so I'll do this. Because he's... Oh, or I can just go home, it looks like, question mark. I need a ride. Okay. Door opens. It's Hervé. He greets you with his bizarre verbal tick, as usual. I don't remember what his voice was. It's getting real cold out now. Ow. Hi, Hervé. You start the engine. You look in the rearview mirror and you realize the homeless man is clutching his left side. Well, all right already, Freddy? Is everything all right? He gives you a vague answer.
Yeah, it's fine.
A pause. He can't help making a face. You're really not looking that great.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I got in a little fight last night with a guy, but it's taken care of now. It's all taken care of.
Hi, Daddy. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
If you crouch down, it's my daddy.
Oh, hi.
Mwah.
Where's my USB?
Oh, it's right here. Look, there you go. You're welcome.
Oh,
There's the cat. Oh, everything's... You gotta move everything.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I can do it.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll go out another way.
Okay. He smiles, revealing a row of bad teeth. What kind of fight? With a wave of his hand, he changes the subject.
Who gives a shit what kind of fight it was? All you need to know is he took something that belonged to me, and he paid the price for it.
He closes his eyes a moment.
So yeah, he wasn't all that bad, but if you let someone steal your stuff, you're done for. Sure, you gotta show him you're tough, that you're a big shot, you know.
He pulls a sour smile. Sometime later, your passenger clears his throat.
You wouldn't happen to have a something to drink, would you? You know, like they do in those newfangled cabs.
Chauffeur-driven cars?
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't have anything, sorry. He nods.
I don't mean water.
You smile. I realized that. He sighs.
Usually you're not such a pain.
I'm worried about you. He opens his mouth to say something and then stops.
Yeah, I know, man. Sorry.
He gives you a black look.
Questions. I got those morning, noon, and night. I'm sick and tired of them.
He loses himself in thought. As you drive along, you see him struggling to keep his eyes open. They're more often shut than open now. Turn up the heat? Sure. Your passenger's head jerks back up.
You're a good guy, you know?
Your passenger gives you a sleepy smile.
Hey, Sir, you don't mind if I get some sleep, do ya?
You nod. Enjoy. He gives you a smile, but it's a painful grimace. Next thing you know, he's sound asleep. You continue to drive in silence, soothed by the warm air of the car heater. You pull up in front of a nondescript gray building. Your passenger immediately wakes up and looks around.
Oh shit, this is great. I'm first.
Where are we?
An organization that hands out clothes for winter. I heard they were gonna open a new,
A pause. He's searching for the right word.
shop, you could say. I'm the first one.
When does it open?
2 days from now.
Your eyes widen. Your passenger gives a little laugh.
Don't worry. I got plenty to keep me busy.
He pats his pant pocket.
Found some books. One on yoga and then a book by that old handsome guy. You know, the guy who talks on the radio? It'll help pass the time.
He gives you a tap on the shoulder. He reaches for the door and stops short, overcome with a spasm of pain.
Fuck.
Are you okay?
Yeah, don't worry.
He's gonna be dead. Like, he's gonna die tonight, I think. But if I say I'm taking him to the hospital, I don't know. What is... I'm thinking about this like this game takes place in America, and it doesn't. In France, I guess, is there universal healthcare in France? I don't even know what year this game takes place. Like, hospital is free in France? I'm taking you to the hospital. No, I'm good. He opens the door and climbs gingerly out. And thanks for turning up the heat. That was nice. Next thing you know, he's disappeared. All right, well, I tried. You sigh and start the cab. Okay. All right, I tried. Didn't he do something to his ex-wife? We have no reason to believe that. All we know is that he has an ex-wife, and that she's with somebody else, and he called her a whore while he was in our car. That's all that we know. You got her number? Hell yeah, I did, bitch. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. You overcome with the desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers to your eyelids, and let out a yawn. Take off your shoes before getting to work. Not enough time. This is so annoying. Okay. Stolen wallet. What else do we have? That's new. Victim 2 killed in the only spot without CCTV. $77, $79, $69, $70. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a game where we play a taxi driver who was assaulted. They believe that we were maybe assaulted by a serial killer, and he like didn't do the job properly. I guess that was my understanding. They had to put me into a coma in order to save my life. And I've woken up and started working again. One of the cops that is working the case got into our car on our first night back and said, "Hey, I've been looking into you, and I've realized that like you're using a fake name. You murdered a guy when you were a kid. You did jail time, like all this stuff. It would really suck if that got out. I bet that would really ruin your life. But I don't have to do that if you will assist me in the investigation." Is blackmailing me. She's blackmailing me. And she was like, it turns out that our police chief also knows all of this information, and he wants to turn you in as a suspect. But I don't think that makes any sense, because why would this serial killer also hurt himself? So she's like, but I do see like potential here to blackmail you, basically. So we are, we're a taxi driver, and we're gathering information about these people, while also like trying to just generally do our job and make money and whatever. This is like either information that we started with or information that we've collected. But this part of the game is the least satisfying and the least clear, I think. The interface, like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But what can you do? So, no, they don't know who the killer is. These people are, like, under suspicion. Sorry, I'll move these things so that you can actually see them because my big ol' head's blocking them. Yeah, so this is all the information that we have right now. The game won't let me, like, I have all of this that I still need to unpack and look at. But the game is like, you don't have enough time. You don't have enough time to look at it. Which is really frustrating. So I have to spend another night without all of the details unpackaged, but okay. Phone rings. It must be Busset. Sure. You pick up. Busset sounds irritated. You there? Yeah. Listen, it's... She pauses. You suddenly hear a ruckus in the background. Probably noise at the station. Busset raises her voice. Anyone got the time? Guys, anyone? Fuck, they're all Neanderthals here. Listen, it's early. I'm wiped out. So are you, I bet. So let's get to the point. What do you have for me? In a calm, methodical voice, you start giving her the evidence you've collected. You start with the first suspect, their connection to the victims, the rumors, the second suspect, and so on. A few minutes in, she lets out a whistle. Not bad. Seriously, you should give a lesson to the zombies I work with. A long sigh. I have good news for you. We checked the alibi of one of the suspects. As you listen to her, you turn to the board and pull down the suspect she's referring to. It's gotta be someone else. She snickers. You know how lucky you are? I am doing your job for you. Anyway, enough chit-chat. I gotta run. I'll call you in 3 days. Okay. I'll call you in 3 days, and you'd better have what I need to make a proper arrest. The DA has fangs, and we're sure he's gonna turn into a werewolf at some point. She babbles on for a while. Her voice becomes softer, but just as sarcastic. That would explain his terrible breath. Anyway, I'm out. She hangs up. You hold the handset in your ear for a while. You have just one thing in your mind, sleeping and forgetting it all. Okay, so who isn't up there anymore? Oh, Hervé. 'Cause he's dead? Like, he might be. You wipe your face. You pull open the sofa bed. You sit on the mattress. You think about the day. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It's taking shape little by little. Who'd have thought? If only Busset would give you a little more time. You shake your head. Your mind wanders for a second, and your eyes close. Right when you're about to fall asleep, you notice a taste on your tongue. Salty, like soy sauce, and bitter, very strong. It disappears as quickly as it came. You fall asleep? What? What the fuck? Whoa! Wendy Yards! Thank you so much for all the gifted subs! Holy shit! Thank you very much! Anybody who was gifted a sub by Wendy, be sure to say thank you. Aw, appreciate it. Bless, bless. You open one eye. For a second there, you hoped the evidence board was just a dream, but you can make it out in the shadows. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. I know, everybody's been so generous tonight. It's very sweet. Oh my god, it's this lady again. Holy schmaboli. Holy stromboli. Etc. Okay, so it seems like I can only do one of these per night because I tried to do these yesterday and it wouldn't let me after I had done the first one. So I guess those are off the market, I guess. So I'm just gonna do one and get it out of the way. Police archives look like any other building in Paris. No sign, nothing to make it stand out. This is where all the case files and criminal records are stored. You know the place well. For several months, you spent a lot of time with the woman who directs it. She was a regular passenger, calling upon you almost every night, first as a driver, and then... You can see her shape from across the street. You try to prevent your brain from going there, but it has a mind of its own, and she's as beautiful as ever. You get out of the cab. You cross over to the sidewalk on the other side. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised by your request. She lights a cigarette. She still has that cold, distant look about her. But you know it's a facade. You don't smoke anymore? I'm trying to quit. She has trouble articulating with the cigarette in her mouth. Oh, good luck with that. I can't manage. She runs a hand through her hair. Her wedding band shines under the street lamp. You're freezing. Listen, I'm sure you know I'm not allowed to give you this kind of information. But if what you said is true, then you get the impression she's reaching for your side. Reaching for my side? I can't tell if this is a romantic gesture or like a that's where I have a wound thing. That is where I was shot, isn't it? Sure. Her hand brushes over your wound. Okay. You think about her body, her habits, how she used to call you in the middle of the night. I fished around and, well, the first 3 victims were not part of the data leak. Shit, indeed. It means the information about Besson, Bugren, and the Argentinian one, Gorodischer. Yes, that's it. It all came from someone who had access to their criminal records. Does that help? You attempt to smile. It's better than nothing. A moment of silence. Hélène takes a drag of her cigarette like there's no tomorrow. She paces a bit to warm herself up. You should come over sometime. What do you think? You grin. You and Hélène used to sleep together when things with her husband weren't so good. That wouldn't be a good idea. She turns her head away in a soft, graceful motion. Of course. I don't know why She looks deep into your eyes, and you look down. Her hands are shaking. One last smile, and she puts her cigarette out. Well, I've got to run. Need a taxi? That's very kind of you, but Bruno's coming to pick me up. Oh, good luck. She reaches out to you affectionately and then stops. You decide to cross the street, put some distance between you as quickly as possible. You get in your cab and rub your hands together. Time to get back to your shift. We don't need her. We have cute nurse mom. Okay. Oh, he's alive? Well, that's good. Okay. Who are you? You're driving along when a strange burnt smell fills the cab. You look around, sniff. Is it coming from outside? Park. As soon as you see a free spot, you pull over and park. You freeze. Something or someone is in your taxi. A woman's voice resonates around the cab. Why is there so much supernatural shit going on in this game? I need a better signal. I'm here. I'm here. You turn around slowly. A young woman has appeared behind you. Don't shout. I'm afraid I'll lose the connection, and I don't have much time. There's something strange about her face. It's as if she's several different people at once. Listen to me carefully. I come from the future, and you must know that you met. She stops moving, like a computer glitch. She stays this way, still frozen. Then she suddenly starts moving again. Fascists in suits with tons of money and control of social media. In 2037, he decides to cleanse Europe, literally and figuratively. She stops herself. I'm breaking up. She lowers her head to speak to someone else. The signal is unstable. She turns to you, her eyes sparkling. A coalition, led by the Iranian president and a few African leaders, managed to find a remedy, but it's too late. The human race has been almost entirely decimated. She looks at you. They sent me to look for more information on Hyoga, but also on other people you may have met. Does Sean Jackson sound familiar? You shake your head. No idea. He went to mime school. She smiles coyly. I know what you're thinking, but I'm serious. She shakes her head. Tragically serious. I don't know who you're talking about. Well, shit. I'm too late in the game. They sent me to the wrong moment. She snaps her fingers. Annabelle Robert, a photojournalist. Her reporting will, her voice crackles, reveal the existence of underground laboratories. She absolutely must go to Syria. Life depends on it. The radio starts blaring incomprehensible voices like it was picking up a secret station. No physical contact. You will not get a second chance. The seat behind you is empty. The young woman is gone. The radio stops. Nighttime silence takes its place. For a second, you wonder if you were dreaming. You breathe in and start driving again. What the fuck? Okay. Who are you? Can I not go to anyone? Glitch? Oh. Okay. Octo, what's up, dude? What? Oh my god. I have to start the night over? Oh, weird. It's like randomized differently. Huh, so you don't always get the same stuff. Interesting. Passenger gets into the cab and gives you her address. Her voice is muted and far away. You start up the cab. She appears rather meek and subdued, like she's about to fade away. You look up at her. She returns your gaze, but she's not there. It's as if you weren't looking at an actual person, but a silhouette in the shape of a human being. You like some music? Music. She pauses. I don't know, if you want. She breaks off again. What kind of music do you have? Whatever's on the radio. I never listen to the radio. I don't really know what's any good. Maybe... She seems to be weighing her options. Classical? The young woman pauses uncertainly. Fine. I rarely listen to classical. You press the radio search button to find a classical station and land in the middle of a symphonic explosion. Ah, Mahler. I can change stations if you want. No, Mahler's fine. I don't dislike it. There's a slight drawl to her voice, like an old tape played in slow motion. I listen to Mahler on occasion. My parents love him. She's quiet for a moment. Mahler, in my opinion, is somehow associated with my thesis. Your thesis? Yes. Not another word. She turns her head slightly as if thinking about something unpleasant. What's the subject? The progressive nuns of Rancé Abbey at the dawn of the industrial era. The air in the cab is icy. That sounds very specific. Extremely. Too much so, no doubt. My field of research is terribly limited and... How should I put it? She sighs. It is deadly boring, a subject that no one is interested in. My thesis supervisor, for a start, my parents, my ex, and worst of all, even me. She stares at you. The subject is a trap. It's never been explored, and it informs our perception of women in the 18th century, but no one is interested in it. That is how it goes. I got used to my thesis, to the subject. Doctoral theses are rarely interesting, you know. But mine, I think I've hit rock bottom. It's a useful subject? Her eyes widen. No, definitely not. I still wonder how I ever believed it wouldn't be a colossal bore. She hesitantly lifts a hand. But I am the one who chose my thesis. Me and no one else. To be honest, it will no doubt be the only thing that remains of me when I die. Damn. Damn. What if you tried something new? Something new, like what? I have no practical skills whatsoever. Do you know how to drive? She stares at you. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. You could drive a cab? A brief pause. I see what you are hinting at, but I don't think I would be able to do it. I'm sure your job requires more than driving skills. I'm not good with people. It's a service like any other. Some of my coworkers are quiet as the grave. Others know the history of Paris like the back of their hand, and they like to entertain. Every driver's different. There's no two drivers that are alike. Taxi driver, it's just an example. There are dozens of jobs that don't require any particular skills, like you said. You just gotta give it a go. Try your luck. I wonder if she wants to hear me talk about myself. The social engineering aspect of this game is a little weird. Yeah. Before I did this job, I thought I was no good for anything. And then someone gave me a chance and trained me, You break off. The young woman is visibly moved. Unshed tears glisten in the darkness of the cab. Sorry. Don't be. It's nothing. It's me. A wry smile tugs at the corner of her mouth, as if she enjoys the thought of seeing loathsome people suffer. My parents think... Her voice falters. She's unable to go on. It takes her a few seconds to pluck up the courage to speak again. My parents think I've made a mess of my life. I know they do. They haven't said so, of course. They are there for me, they help me, but deep down they know it's too late. The symphony on the radio takes a dramatic, tormented turn. I'm 28, doing a doctoral thesis on 18th century nuns. My brothers went to top business schools, earned MBAs, they're married, have children. And me, I'm compiling pages and pages of information on nuns. You pull up to the passenger's address, an opulent-looking building in the 16th arrondissement. The young woman is perfectly still, seeming paralyzed. Thanks. She lowers her eyes. I need time to think, but thank you for what you said. I don't often hear things like that. Thank you. She hands you the fare and then exits the cab without a word. A moment later, she's walking away, heading toward her building. You sit there a moment longer and then start up the cab. Aww. I'm not gonna lie, that thesis does sound boring. Me, I got the hot scoop on nuns, right? That's a good, like... God, I want to pick up this word lady again. That's a really good, icebreaker. Fuck, Jesus. I couldn't think of the term. Oh, okay. I know. There have been far more wholesome moments in this game than I expected. Your passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door shut. Good evening. Plain Saint Denis, please. He stops short, visibly sizing you up. Do you know where it is? You nod. Avenue des Magasins Généraux. You know, the street? Yeah. He looks at you intently. Do you know all the streets? His question drips with disbelief. You know his kind well, the sort who'd refer to you as the Arab and not bat an eyelid. Yes, I do, monsieur. He seems hesitant. Well, then let's go. You start the cab. Your client stares out the window as if hypnotized. You watch him in the rearview mirror. His face is familiar, his accent too, though you'd never be able to place it. Typical of some rural region, central France perhaps. You take another look. You've got it. He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. You'd seen him on the show a few weeks before. You'd watched it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. Something about it bothered you. The show was a masquerade, live in the country, seen from a very Parisian and cynical perspective, full of scorn and contempt. All right, then, you figured out who I am. His remark and his accent bring you back to the present. Sorry? You recognize me. You can make fun of me now. Make fun of you? He shrugs. Yeah, like all those other people who do it out there on the Tweety thing. Tweety? Takes you a second to realize he's talking about social media. Make fun of you. Yeah, well, go on, have a laugh. It's free. Why shouldn't you? Have a good laugh at my expense. That's what I'm good for. Is His eyes meet yours, his voice faltering. He sighs and then shakes his shoulders. He goes on staring at you for a while and then seems to calm down. Sorry. He shakes his head, moved. His shell is starting to crack. It's hell. Imagine what I'm going through. It's a nightmare. 3 months ago, I was a contestant on that stupid show, Fields of Love. I said yeah, because my wife's been dead 25 years. I've been all alone ever since, just me and my cows and the udders, and he stops and shrugs. The show was aired like a month ago. At first, things were fine. Friends called. We had a good laugh. Then I find out the internet is laughing at me too. They're those things. I can't remember what they're called. Moms, mams, mims. The pictures that move all by themselves, you know? You have no idea what he's talking about. Nod politely. So I made myself a Tweety to go and, see what they're saying. Calling me a virgin, a Nazi, that I screw my cows. He looks away as if someone else had spoken the words. They practically die laughing. A farmer who... He doesn't want to finish the sentence. So anyway, yesterday I said I had it. I called my cousin, told him to keep an eye on the farm, and I left for Paris. On my way to see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago, they said if there was any problem, they'd take care of it. Well, there is a problem. His anger had subsided, his face returning to its normal color. What's your plan? Hell yes, I've got a plan. I'm gonna show up and raise Cain until they listen to me. Really? Yeah, that's the plan. He gives an energetic nod of the head. Believe me, they're gonna listen. I may just be a plain old farmer, but nobody's gonna disrespect me. He squares his shoulders as if to fend off the attacks. Forget it. His eyes half closed, he practically growls the words. There's a palpable air of sadness about him. At first, I told him I didn't want to be on the stupid show. It wasn't for me. But they insisted. They showed me pictures of the women. He lowers his eyes. And then, well, I said yes. I should have never said yes. You pull up the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. You park the cab and cut the engine. Is it closed? You nod, yes. It doesn't open until 6. You point to a sign posted near the gates and he sighs. But there'll be hardly anyone here before 9 or 10. I don't care, I'll wait. He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet. What are you gonna ask them? I want him to apologize. On TV, during the show, in front of everybody. They talk about all the things they changed, all the bits of sentences they cut up and put back together. He fixes gazes on you. His eyes narrow. You know, I'm not racist. I got an achievement just then. His voice is low and raspy. Don't believe the show. I didn't mean what I said, and I didn't really say that stuff either. What did you say? He stops short. Nothing. He avoids your gaze and then all at once says, a lot of nonsense. He fixes his gaze on you, moved. I'm not very good at this. I've been, he chokes up, gesturing with a hand as if to make it all disappear. When he starts up again, he's on the verge of tears. Anyhow, I'll just wait here until it opens. The passenger pays the fare and exits the cab. You watch him for a minute as he starts his vigil in front of the gates. You notice a newspaper in the back seat. Your last passenger must have left it. You grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. Then you start the cab and go back to the grind. Interesting. Well, good luck, bud. Is that... No. God, I'm having a really tough time remembering who I've talked to and who I haven't. I need to talk to you. The passenger who gets into the cab greets you in uncertain tones. Good evening. You try to answer as warmly as possible. Good evening. Good evening, I want to... She stops short, trembling as if in a panic. Is everything alright? No, it's not. She begins pouring her heart out. A flood of sorrow fills the cab. I've lost my cat. She shakes her head as if chasing a bad dream. I know, it's silly, it's pathetic, but I lost my cat. She holds up a poster. Do I know this cat? His name is Crookie. It's the cat from the other night. You're sure of it. I know this is going to sound crazy, but someone saw my cat get into a cab. So I called your company and asked which taxis were in the neighborhood the night he disappeared. And you were the only one. And I need your help. Her toast is increasingly hesitant and insecure. Do you know where he is? Where is Crookie? Where is my cat? She takes a deep breath. It's a question of life and death. I saw him. She sits up straight with a jerk. That's wonderful. Where is he? Take me there. I'm trying to remember. Because when we were talking with the cat basically confirmed that he was running away. Right? Like, we chose all of the options that were wrong, but the cat was unhappy and was going somewhere else. That was like what was implied to us through our weird cat conversation in which the cat didn't say anything. Yeah, the only option that we didn't choose was the one that was like she was overly affectionate, and I don't know if that was like, I don't know what that means. Hi. Speaking of cats, hi, sweetheart. How are you? That's not for you. That's my food. That's my food. Did you know that we were talking about cats just now? Hi. I don't know. Like, I don't think she's... Part of me is like, what's the likelihood that she's gonna find this cat? Even if I tell her. But the rest of me is like, that cat didn't want to be found, though. I'm just gonna tell her. The train? She looks down at the poster in her hand. That's why he stole my money. I knew he was up to something. He's smart for a little ball of fluff. Did you talk to him? You remain quiet. I'm sure you talked to him. Crookie's not just an old cat. He saved my life. I adopted him when he was a kitty. I took care of him. I spoiled him, fed him for weeks. I took time off work to take care of him. I knew right away he wasn't like other cats. He was different. I stood up for him. When my friends said he was taking up too much room, I dropped them. When they told me he couldn't come with me to work anymore, I changed companies. Whoa, okay, so yeah, she's like obsessed with her cat. He's the only reason I get out of bed in the morning. I'm begging you. When my mother died, I decided to get a cat, and I thought it would take my mind off of things and get me interested in something else, and then... She stares at you. I'm gonna ask you, do you know where my cat is? She's let this cat become literally the only thing that she like lives for, and that's unhealthy, and the cat is sad with her. So I'm like, wouldn't it be better for her maybe to not have the cat so that she can put energy into other parts of her life? The cat's happy, eventually maybe she'll be happier. That's my thought process. You know, Watson, do you feel me?
Watson, you feel me?
I haven't seen any cats. Well, I already said that I did see the cat. The lie here at this point, oh my god. The lie at this point should have been, I know he got on the train, but I don't know where. I don't know where he went. That's the lie, you dingus. Why the fuck would you, like, revert back after saying, yeah, I saw a cat, he got on a train. And then she's like, do you know where my cat is? And he's like, cat? I haven't seen a cat my whole life. What the fuck? Her searching gaze holds your eye for a long moment. Sorry. She appears dejected and sad. She nods toward the passenger window. I need a little air. Could you stop the car? You pull over to the sidewalk. She lowers her gaze. I know I was a little too much for him. I might have been a little suffocating, but he was everything to me, and nobody seemed to understand. Nobody. That's not healthy. She looks you straight in the eye. What do you mean? To love someone so much you lock them up? You suffocate them? That's not healthy. For a cat? A man? A woman? She says nothing. You can hear her struggling to catch her breath. Thank you. I think I needed to hear that. I'm going crazy. Her voice drops to a whisper. Crazy. She opens the car door and hands you a banknote. I need to be alone. She gets out of the cab and walks away without shutting the door. The next minute she's gone, swallowed up by the night. You get out and close the door. You take a deep breath and your lungs freeze. You wait another minute, then get back inside and start the engine. Okay. I thought we weren't going to get paid for that, to be honest. I thought that was going to be one of those situations that was like, she got in our car and took up a whole bunch of our time. Who is this person? I can't even see them. Rococulus. I'm gonna need gas soon. Oh, I keep forgetting I have the newspaper. Shinji. Sure, accept. He has an enormous suitcase. You get out of the cab, pick up the suitcase, which must weigh 45 kilos at the very least, and put it in the trunk. You get back in with your passenger close on your heels. The door slams shut. You turn the key on the ignition and look up at your passenger. Charles de Gaulle? He nods and you start driving. It's still pretty early to be getting on a plane. He must be the type that likes to get there well ahead of time. Japanese, Chinese, you're not sure. You smile. Tourists always have such a magical image of Paris. There's almost no traffic, and you're able to drive at a decent speed. Behind you, in the rearview mirror, you can see the tip of the Eiffel Tower start to appear. Look who's saying goodbye. I'm not going to say anything. He looks mad. I'm not going to say anything. He keeps staring at you with an annoyed expression. He obviously doesn't understand. Oh, some Japanese. His voice is frank with a dote of exhaustion. There was an in there. That's all I saw. Okay, Japanese, you're sure now. He imitates the sound of a plane taking off. You think you may have recognized the name of the airport? Airport. Airport, he nods. He turns away so vehemently, you understand he wants to be left in peace. He wants calm and silence. You hear him mumble to himself. His voice is deep and heavy. There's a he. I saw he and God. I haven't tried to practice this in forever. I don't remember any of it. Oh! I think I saw nani. Takes a short pause to swallow his spit. Tone of his voice makes you think he's making a list of all the things he hates. He mumbles on and on. He's made that sound before. This, a third time. You immediately recognize the word. Versailles? Versailles! He bursts out laughing. He glances at you. You don't understand. You get the impression he wants you to repeat what he's saying. Sure, I'll repeat it. He nods. He falls back into his seat, his eyes closed. He doesn't want to speak to you anymore. You've had passengers who didn't speak any French, but this one seems furious. Maybe he didn't like Paris. Maybe he prefers Tokyo. You smile. For a second, you imagine yourself as a taxi driver in Tokyo. Businessmen, well-dressed high schoolers, Japanese mobsters. What are they called again? I'll leave him alone. You keep driving. You think about the movie you saw during your hospital stay. A black American soldier on the run who starts hanging out with some sort of bum who was a huge jazz fan. It was a singular movie. Incredible. It made a real impression on you. The title was... you can't remember the title. How could you possibly describe it to your passenger? Impossible. What a shame you can't speak his language. What a shame not to understand him, not to be able to talk to him about it. You sigh. Maybe later you'll have time to learn Japanese. It's probably hard. Not the same alphabet, not even the same letters, but then again, your parents could read in Arabic and write in French. So, good too. Later. Later you'll have time. And then, here you are at the airport. A heap of ramps and tunnels brings you to the drop-off zone. You pull up to a stop and your client wakes up. He notices the airport, a few taxis, your own fatigue. He starts talking peacefully in a soft voice. He shakes his head. Okay. He pays his fare with a twinge of shame. You get out of your taxi and help him get his suitcase out of the trunk. It weighs a ton. He thanks you with a sad look of defeat. Oh no! He grabs onto your sleeve as you try to get back into your car. You nod. Oh shit. I want to say me too, but I don't know what he said. Oh. Me too. He looks you over slowly from head to toe. When he starts speaking again, his voice is monotone and void of emotion. Something inside you resonates, like you understood what he said. 19. He lost someone. His wife, maybe? He looks upset. He shakes his head. He should have come with someone. Is this like... he lost somebody and they always wanted to go to Paris, so he went to Paris, but it wasn't like all it was built up to be? If only you could understand. He bows. When he straightens up, his eyes are misty. You don't know why, but it seems normal to reply. You're welcome. He walks away with his huge suitcase. Without looking back, your passenger goes into the airport. The sliding glass doors close behind him. You start to realize the airport is waking up all around you. A woman who must have been a Viking in another life is pushing a floor waxer across the tiles in the entryway just below the heating vents. A fellow driver waves as he's leaving the drop-off zone. A plane, maybe the first one of the day, appears in the sky. You get back in the taxi, and for a minute you rub your freezing hands together to warm them up. just a few seconds before driving off. Aww. Oh, I can just say, fuck it, I'm going home. I want to read the newspaper. You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. A rather positive critique of a bar called Soli. You make note of the information with interest. In your line of work, that kind of thing can always come in handy. You turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the newspaper. You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. It's a short, rather messy article stuck between two ads informing you that the police have taken the president's campaign manager in for questioning. He's being blamed for discrepancies in the campaign's accounts. You only have a third left to read. As soon as you get to this page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at an enthusiastic review of a new video game about the Uberization of society. You scan the text, a bit lost. A video game about a taxi driver? That sounds cool. You shut the paper. It'll end up in the trash tonight. If you remember, it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. Isn't it bedtime? It's bedtime. I met Janet Cho. Annabelle? Leonie. Take a few minutes to update your board. Okay, we'll update the board, and then that'll be the end of the stream today. Steps in the hallway, they stop in front of your door. Time to get moving. Oh my god, finally. Finally we can add this. Go back to the board. Killer fought with victim 3. Oh, and victim 1? Killer fought with victim 1. Killer fought with victim 3. First 3 victims' files are not part of the police leak. Okay, I see. So it would make more sense if it's one of them. But I feel like I haven't seen them. The deaths are executions. The killer knew the victims or researched them. There's a rare gun. Spent bullet case. Victims killed with 1 bullet in the neck. Killed in the only spot without CCTV. What? No, that's not what I want. Autopsy report on victim 3. No sign of violence, but they also said that the killer fought with victim 3. Mom, health issues. Gay in a relationship. Never disclosed. Moved to mainland France. Divorced from a judge. Joined the police in 1977. How weird. Where did I get this from? Police report of victim 3, but the autopsy report is different. The police report says that there was a fight, and the autopsy report says that there wasn't. Which, to me, would imply that it would be an on-duty cop. Which would be this guy. This guy's retired. But what would be the point in saying in your write-up that there was a fight when there wasn't? Maybe the fight is not visible on the body, but visible at the scene. It's weird that we don't get... I don't know. I wish that rather than have, like, clippings, I would much rather have it be like, here's the report. Like, here's the report for this death, here's the report for this death, here's the report for this death. Instead of it just grabbing the information that's relevant to the game. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right, guys. I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go hang with my family, my bab. Try to forget that I'm sad about my sweet husbando being gone for 5 days. But I am gonna read all of these off. We had a bunch of gifted subs at the beginning of the stream. It's very sweet. Thank you guys. So let me read all of this. And then I will let you guys go on with your life. Okay. Thank you so much to C Poops for the 14 months, Jorgar for the 27, Connor for the 28, Crow Sister for the 14, and Saden for the 37, Minute for the 9. Happy Twitch, baby. Staring Stars, thank you for the 38. Riz the Huntress for the 53. Odd Lover for the 6. Harper for the 32. Jimerism, thank you very much for subscribing. Adro Smiley, thank you for the 3. Abby C for the 13. Vonks for the 20. This Awkward Person, thank you for the 35. Docty for the 31. No Agui for the 13. Retired Bongo Cat for the 31. Sabermetric for the 47. Almost 4 years. Harper, thank you for gifting us up to KZ Bear. It's your 1 year. Happy 1 year, KZ Bear. Thank you, Harper, for that. Resident Derp, thank you for the 9 months. Happy Twitch, baby. Jabberwock, thank you for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Red Princess, thank you for the 2. Angie for gifting a sub to Evie. Cloudy Evie, welcome back to your 5th month. TK Bowie for the 33. Jimmy the Brush for the 9. Again, thank you so much, dude. Jimmy gifted subs to Potion Seller, Seriously, Lysara, Drake Reaver, and Turple Purtle. All of you, welcome back and welcome to the Cat Gang from Jimmy. Arnar gifted subs to Disgustipated, Bukaki, Nancy, iWoot, and Lemony Limes. All of you, welcome and welcome back to the Cat Gang as well. Thank you, Arnar. Avi gifted subs to Haru10, Foxy Jesus, Canonically Your Mom Please, Holter2, and Tia and Anton. Tia Anton. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Thank you so much, Avi. Jimmy gifted more subs to Fuzzy Little Toad, Dark Jax, Virasaur, Virasaur. Where were we? What happened there? Oh, it collapsed. How weird. Virasaur, Dark Jax, and Fuzzy Little Toe. All of you, welcome to the Cat Gang as well, and welcome back. Rosa, thank you for the 3 years. Happy anniversary if you're still here. Potato, thank you for gifting subs to Adorably Abominable, Silva Foxy, Mr. Crickster, Master Seaman, and Scythe. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Thank you, Potato. Haluja, thank you for the 18. Avi gifted more subs to Egg McGuffin, Lahu, Cinderpad, Clockwork Cynic, and Victor Koopa. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Thank you, Avi. David gifted subs to Free Tiert, Spartan Ninja, Freakin' Fool, Lamuna, Perryton, Assy Plays, Spartan V Legion, Real, Olid 2K15, and Warrior Raiders. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Thank you, David. Gynax gifted subs to Solo Luna, Kibe Wolf, Tristaray. Oh, Tristo is here. Tristaray, Match Uwu, and Hernid. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Thank you, Gynax. Kendra gifted subs to Sky Raider, Fatter Catter, Harley Sonder, Lightfound, and Warp. All of you, welcome and welcome back. From Kendra, thank you, thank you. Z Bean, thank you so much for the 13 months. I'm so glad my brother told me about your channel years ago. I have not regretted it. Oh, well, thank you, and thank your brother as well. Sonic Advance, thank you for gifting subs to Lopolio, Stasman, Exodex, Hollow Bird, Iric, Pocket Bob, Smaze, Holy Dance, Crux, and Maxin. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Sonic Advance. Jimmy gifted more subs. To Wick G, Curved Crystal, Rainfall, Cryon, and Ilaris Art. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Jimmy. Carmen Gear Girl, thank you so much for all the biddies. Bromanity gifted subs to Iridium Knight, Kirino, Data Dude, Halogen Hats, and Human Interest Piece. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Bromanity. Poyo gifted a sub to Valley Matka. Welcome back. Thank you, Poyo. Javi gifted more subs to Lilium Tenebrea, Ionis22, Joharasit, Parading Eagle, and Rage Shroom. All of you, welcome and welcome back. Potato gifted subs to BH Brown, Mine Cheetah, Diciest Penguin, Caitlin, and Buzz Ruz. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Potato. So many gifted subs earlier today. Thank you, guys. True Heart, thank you for the 42. Persephone Pumpkin for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Webtastic, thank you for the 23. Zovis for the 25D. Harrison for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Votirian, thank you for the 3. Moel for the 39. Alicia E for the 20. Mist SSB for the 27. D Farmer for the 39. Adelaide's Jewel for the 3 years. Happy anniversary. Potato gifted a sub to Stay Hydrated Bot. Welcome back. Thank you, Potato. Nalis, thank you for the 19. Balak for the 23. Lexi Lucy for the 3. Talia Tate. Oh, Talia, thank you for the 31. Skull Devil, thank you for the 23. NT Shy for the 32. Suitor for the 19. Nisgratis for the 39. Hypixian for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Blonde Fox, thank you for the 38. Beatrice for the 28. Broken Plaything for the 38. Obi, thank you for the 21. SSJ2 Rich for the 42. Hominid Hunter for the 19. No One's Minion, thank you so much for the 19 months. Purpletron for the 35. Odev for the 29. Sunbeam for the 6. Igdra for the 26. Daylight Valentine for the 22. Really for the 39. Windy Arts gifted a ton of subs to Ricewind, Beetle J Wall, Uo, Decalson, Kaiju Killer, Sixa, Tyler's Better, Anxious Parakeet, Bebo, WZKY, Titsmite, Neek, Lilibet, Nerdigus, and Tudafi. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Windy Arts. Thank you so much, Windy Arts, for those. Black Dynamite, thank you for the 39. Emerald Soul for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Wacky Whitney for the 25. M-Step Games for the 20. Arnar gifted more subs to Dark Beaster, Relay Lysandra, Shorty Monk, Mute Inc., and Princessity. All of you, welcome and welcome back from Arnar. Be sure to thank Arnar if you were gifted a sub just now. Potato also gifted more subs to Chibi Toymaker, Never Gonna Be MLG, Party Plane, Inclement Weather, and Horrible. All of you, welcome and welcome back as well. Be sure to thank Potato if Potato gifted you a sub. Thank you, guys. Fred Shin, thank you for the 21. Carmen Gia Girl for the 33. And Arnar gifted a sub to Lil Mouse as well. And Totally Reasonable just did a 37. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I think we might play that game again. I don't know. There's some, like, the actual meeting of characters and like finding out their stories is so wholesome and interesting, but like I wanted to play it for the detective aspects, and the detective aspects are kind of lacking for me, or they're not set up in a way that's extremely satisfying for me. So I'm torn. I really like the world and the characters, and like I love hearing their stories, and I want to do more of that, but at the same time I'm like, but I also want to just play a detective game. So I'm torn. I'll think about it. But either way, that game was called Night Call. We've played 3 hours of it. And yeah, we might come back to it. Let me know what you guys think. And tomorrow is podcast day. So I will be, well, I don't know if we're doing co-optional because of Jeff. I'm not sure if we're going to skip this week. We might. But if we do, there's that. If we're there, great. If we're not there, great. Either way. But we will be doing more Final Fantasy XIV stuff tomorrow. So if you want to tune into that, Terry and I will be continuing Shadowbringers. So yeah. Anywho, I hope that the stream was good for you guys. I hope that if you needed some cheering up, that we cheered you up. I sang the Water Buffalo song from VeggieTales Like, I pulled out all the stops today, so take care of yourselves. I will see you guys tomorrow if you're there, and if not, I'll see you when I see you. Okay, guys? Bye-bye, everybody.